In the heart of the Galactic Institute of Universal Studies, a grand lecture hall buzzed with quiet anticipation. Dozens of alien students, each from a different star system, floated or perched in their seats. Their bioluminescent forms glowed softly under the shimmering dome of the classroom, which projected a rotating hologram of a small blue and green planet. Today's lesson was about Earth, a world spoken of with a mix of awe and trepidation. The instructor, a towering being covered in scales that shimmered like molten silver, raised one clawed hand to silence the murmurs. Its voice resonated with authority and wisdom as it addressed the class. Earth, it began, is classified as a Class 5 Deathworld. For many of you, this classification might sound familiar, but let me clarify. Earth is not just a death world. It is an anomaly among them. A student with a crystalline body raised a delicate appendage. Its voice was like the chiming of bells. Instructor, why is it called a death world? Does it mean life is impossible there? The instructor smiled, a gesture that revealed rows of sharp, pearlescent teeth. Not at all. In fact, life on Earth is abundant, vibrant, and remarkably diverse. But what makes Earth a death world is the sheer hostility of its environment. The hologram zoomed in, revealing Earth's swirling atmosphere. Storm clouds churned, lightning crackled, and the vast oceans roared with towering waves. Earth's gravity is high, far higher than most of your home worlds, the instructor explained. Every movement, every action for its inhabitants is a battle against the relentless pull of their planet. This gravity molds its life forms into beings of immense physical strength and resilience. You, for example, it said, pointing to a student with gossamer-like wings, would find yourself pinned to the ground, unable to move under Earth's gravity. The class murmured in astonishment. But gravity is just the beginning, the instructor continued. Earth's climate is unforgiving. Its surface is constantly reshaped by earthquakes, volcanoes, and hurricanes. Its oceans are vast and filled with predators that would see many of you as nothing more than prey. Even its atmosphere is a cocktail of oxygen, a highly reactive gas that, under the wrong circumstances, can ignite and destroy. Another student, its gelatinous body quivering, asked hesitantly, then, how does anything survive there? The instructor's expression turned serious. Survival on Earth demands constant adaptation. Its creatures have evolved over billions of years to withstand its many perils. Some live in boiling hot springs. Others survive in frozen wastelands. And some endure the crushing pressures of the deepest oceans, where no light from their star reaches. The hologram shifted, displaying a montage of Earth's life forms, towering trees, predatory cats with razor-sharp claws, and tiny bacteria thriving in volcanic vents. But, the instructor said, its voice lowering, the most remarkable species on Earth is humanity. The students leaned forward, their attention rapt. Humans? Asked a student with glowing, star-like eyes. They dominate this death world. The instructor nodded. Humans are fragile compared to many of Earth's predators. Their bodies are soft, their senses are limited, and they lack natural weapons like claws or venom. Yet they have risen to the top of Earth's food chain.
Why?
Because of their minds. The hologram displayed scenes of human ingenuity, towering cities, spacecraft launching into the void, and firelight illuminating early human faces. Humans are clever, the instructor continued. They have mastered tools, tamed fire, and harnessed the power of their environment. They are driven by curiosity and ambition, but also by emotions, love, fear, anger, and hope. These emotions make them unpredictable and, at times, dangerous. A ripple of unease spread through the class. They are survivors, the instructor said firmly. For humans, every hardship is a challenge to overcome. They have adapted to deserts, jungles, mountains, and frozen tundras. They have turned the very dangers of Earth into stepping stones for progress. It paused, letting the weight of its words sink in. This is why Earth is called a death world, the instructor concluded. Not because it is devoid of life, but because life there thrives against unimaginable odds. And humanity? Humanity is Earth's greatest triumph and its greatest threat. The classroom fell silent. The alien students stared at the hologram of Earth, their minds filled with a mixture of awe and fear. Perhaps, the instructor added quietly, it is not Earth that should be feared, but the beings it has shaped. The hologram dimmed, and the lecture ended. But the image of Earth, wild, untamed, and alive, lingered in their thoughts, a haunting reminder of the universe's boundless possibilities. The students began to exchange thoughts in hushed tones, their voices a symphony of clicks, hums, and whispers. One of the braver students, its translucent body pulsing with hues of orange and green, raised a question. Instructor, you speak of humans as though they are to be admired and feared. Have they ever posed a threat to the wider galaxies? The instructor's expression darkened. It gestured, and the hologram shifted to show a primitive human spacecraft leaving the atmosphere of Earth. Humans have only recently begun their journey into the stars, it said. Their technology, while crude by galactic standards, has progressed with astonishing speed. In less than a few centuries, they went from igniting fire to launching themselves into space. They have already sent machines to other planets in their solar system and probes beyond it. The hologram zoomed out, showing the vast distances between Earth and neighboring star systems. They are relentless explorers, the instructor continued, driven by curiosity and a refusal to accept limits. If left unchecked, it is only a matter of time before they venture beyond their own solar system and encounter other civilizations. A nervous chime echoed from a crystalline student in the back. And when they do, will they come in peace? Or as conquerors? The instructor paused, considering the question carefully. Humans are neither inherently peaceful nor inherently violent, it replied. They are adaptable. In their history, they have waged devastating wars, yet they have also formed alliances, built great civilizations, and sought to understand the universe. Much will depend on how they perceive those they encounter, and how they are perceived in return. Another student, whose form resembled a swirling cloud of gas, floated closer. Its voice was a soft, airy whisper. If they are so adaptable, so determined, could they one day surpass us? The instructor's gaze lingered on the hologram of Earth, now rotating slowly against a backdrop of stars. It is possible, it admitted. Humans have an unyielding drive to overcome challenges, to grow stronger with every adversity. They are shaped by their Deathworld, forged in the crucible of struggle and survival. It is this very nature that makes them both fascinating and dangerous. The students exchanged uneasy glances. For most of them, life had been predictable, their home world stable and nurturing. The idea of a species born from chaos, thriving against all odds, was both alien and unsettling. The instructor gestured again, and the hologram shifted to show scenes from human history, monuments rising against the odds, acts of both great kindness and terrible destruction, and humanity's eyes turned skyward, ever seeking the unknown. As you leave this lecture today, the instructor said, its voice softer now, remember this, Earth and its inhabitants are a testament to the resilience of life. They remind us that the universe is vast and unpredictable, and that even in the harshest conditions, life finds a way. But they also serve as a warning that the strongest survivors are not always the most peaceful. The hologram faded, and the instructor stepped back, signaling the end of the lecture. The alien students began to disperse, their thoughts heavy with the weight of what they had learned. As the room emptied, the instructor stood alone for a moment, gazing at the faint outline of Earth on the darkened dome above. Perhaps, it murmured to itself, the galaxy is not ready for humanity. Or perhaps, it is humanity that is not ready for the galaxy. As the students dispersed, the room grew quieter, though faint echoes of their discussion lingered in the air. Outside the lecture hall, clusters of students gathered, their conversations buzzing with curiosity and unease. A small group of students, led by the crystalline being that had earlier raised a question, approached the instructor. Their movements were tentative, reflecting a mix of reverence and trepidation. Instructor, the crystalline student began, its voice chiming softly, may we ask one more question? The instructor turned, its silvery form reflecting the dim light of the now-empty hall. "Of course," it replied. "Has anyone met them?" The question hung in the air, heavy with anticipation. The instructor's gaze grew distant. "The galaxy is vast," it said. "Encounters with Earth's humans are rare, but they have happened." The students leaned closer, their curiosity rekindled. The instructor continued, its voice laced with both awe and caution. "A few cycles ago, a human vessel, a primitive one by galactic standards, sent a signal into the void. It carried no weapons, only information. The message contained mathematical patterns, music, images of their world, and their own biology. It was a greeting, an invitation to the universe." A gaseous student swirled in excitement. "And was it answered?" The instructor shook its head. "Not directly, but it drew attention. A group of explorers from the Seraphon cluster ventured to the outer edge of Earth's solar system to observe. What they saw left them unsettled. The hologram reignited, displaying Earth's surface from the perspective of the Seraphon explorers. The planet teemed with life, its oceans glittering under sunlight, its forests a patchwork of green and brown. Yet it was the human cities that stood out, vast networks of lights stretching across continents, machines crisscrossing the skies, and signs of industry and innovation everywhere. The explorers expected primitive beings, the instructor explained. What they found was a species on the brink of interstellar capability. Humans were unaware of their presence, yet their rapid progress was unmistakable. One of the students, a being with a fluid form that rippled like water, asked, "Did the explorers make contact?" The instructor's tone grew grave. "No. They chose to leave without revealing themselves. They observed from a distance and departed quietly. The Seraphon are cautious by nature, and they saw the potential for both greatness and destruction in humanity. They believed it was not yet time." The crystalline student's glow dimmed slightly. "So, humanity remains unaware of the galaxy?" "For now," the instructor said. "But their curiosity is insatiable. They have already sent probes to the outer reaches of their system. They listen to the stars, searching for voices in the void. It is only a matter of time before they learn the truth." The gaseous student hesitated, then whispered, "When that time comes, will the galaxy welcome them or fear them?" The instructor looked at the small group, its gaze heavy with the weight of centuries of wisdom. "That," it said softly, "depends not just on humanity, but on us as well. Will we greet them with open arms or with weapons drawn? Will we guide them or shun them? The answer to that question may define the future of our galaxy." The students fell silent, the enormity of the instructor's words settling over them. The crystalline student finally spoke, its voice filled with resolve. "Perhaps, instructor, it is our responsibility to prepare for that day. To ensure that when humans reach the stars, they find allies, not enemies." The instructor's silvery face softened into a rare expression of approval. "Perhaps you are right. Perhaps it is time for us to stop fearing the unknown and start preparing for it." As the group left the hall, the hologram of Earth flickered back into view, spinning slowly in the infinite darkness of space, a small, vibrant world filled with life, potential, and danger. In the quiet of the now-empty room, the instructor lingered for a moment, gazing at the image. "Humanity," it murmured, "you are both a miracle and a warning. May the stars guide your journey, and ours." Days turned into weeks, and the lecture about Earth began to ripple through the student body like a shockwave. The story of the Deathworld and its enigmatic inhabitants had become a topic of fervent discussion. The Galactic Institute, normally a place of serene intellectual exchange, was now alive with debates, questions, and speculative theories about humanity. In the central plaza of the Institute, where glowing streams of data flowed like rivers and floating platforms carried scholars to their next classes, a gathering of students formed. At its center was the crystalline being who had posed the pivotal question during the lecture. "Friends," it said, its tones clear and resonant, "I believe it is our duty to study Earth more deeply. The humans may not yet know of us, but the day they step beyond their system grows closer. We must understand them, not as a distant threat but as potential allies or adversaries. The crowd murmured in agreement. A fluid being with rippling blue and green waves spoke next. But how do we study a species like humans? If even the Seraphon chose to observe from afar, how can we, mere students, approach such a task? The crystalline being's glow intensified. By going to the source, a wave of shock passed through the assembly. Go to Earth, asked a student whose form resembled a cluster of floating spheres. That's madness. Their environment alone could kill us, let alone their unpredictable nature. Perhaps, the crystalline being replied, its voice steady, but no knowledge is gained without risk. And Earth is not just their death world, it is a cradle of innovation. If we wish to understand them, we must witness their world firsthand. The murmurs grew louder, some students nodding in agreement while others recoiled in fear. From the edge of the crowd, a voice rang out, firm and commanding. It was the instructor. Your ambition is admirable, it said, stepping into the circle. But Earth is no place for the unprepared. To set foot on that world without understanding its dangers would be to invite death. The students fell silent, their gazes fixed on the instructor. And yet, it continued, you are correct. Humanity cannot remain a mystery forever. The galaxy will not wait for their arrival. It must prepare. If you truly wish to embark on this journey, you will need guidance, resources, and permission from the Galactic Council itself. The crystalline being bowed slightly. Instructor, will you help us? The instructor regarded the group, its reflective eyes filled with a mixture of pride and concern. If you are committed to this path, I will guide you. But make no mistake, this mission will test not only your bodies but your minds and spirits. Earth is not a world to be taken lightly. The group exchanged glances, their resolve hardening. They knew the risks, but the chance to study humanity and their death world firsthand was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Over the next several months, preparations for the expedition began in earnest. The students trained relentlessly, simulating Earth's gravity, atmosphere, and volatile conditions. They studied human languages, cultures, and histories, piecing together fragments from intercepted transmissions and ancient broadcasts sent into the cosmos. A specialized vessel was constructed, equipped with environmental controls to protect the students from Earth's harsh conditions and stealth systems to ensure their presence went undetected. Finally, the day of departure arrived. The small crew of students and their instructor stood before the shimmering gateway that led to their ship. The instructor addressed them one last time. You are about to set foot on a world that has shaped a species unlike any other. Observe. Learn. But remember this, your actions may shape how humanity perceives the galaxy when the time comes for them to look outward. Be wise and tread carefully. With those words, the crew entered the ship. The gateway shimmered and closed behind them, leaving the plaza empty once more. Far across the galaxy, Earth continued its rotation, unaware of the approaching visitors. Its skies were clear, its oceans restless, and its cities alive with the hum of human activity. For now, humanity remained alone in the vastness of space. But that would soon change. And as the alien vessel drew closer, cloaked in invisibility, its passengers prepared for the moment they would finally set foot on the death world and meet its most remarkable creations, humans. The alien vessel glided silently through Earth's atmosphere, its cloaking technology rendering it invisible to human detection. From within, the students peered out at the world below, their expressions a mix of wonder and apprehension. Through the ship's observation windows, they saw sprawling cities, endless forests, and vast oceans. Tiny vehicles darted along intricate networks of roads, and lights illuminated the darkness of night like stars scattered across the planet's surface. "It's beautiful," murmured the crystalline being, its form shimmering with awe. The instructor stood nearby, its gaze fixed on the view. "Indeed," it said. "But beauty often conceals danger. Remember what you've learned. Earth is a world of extremes. Respect it, and respect its inhabitants." The students nodded, their resolve firm despite the weight of their mission. Landing on Earth, the vessel descended into a dense forest, selecting a remote location far from human settlements. The stealth field shimmered briefly as the ship touched down, blending seamlessly with the surrounding foliage. The students disembarked cautiously, their protective suits adapting to Earth's gravity and atmosphere. The air was thick with unfamiliar scents, and the sounds of chirping insects and rustling leaves filled their audio receptors. One student, its fluid form shifting nervously, whispered, "This world feels alive in every direction." The instructor placed a steadying hand on its shoulder. "That is the essence of Earth. Every inch of this planet teems with life, competing, cooperating, surviving." The group began their exploration, guided by their research and curiosity. They collected samples of soil, plants, and water, marveling at the diversity of Earth's ecosystems. First encounter. As the group ventured deeper into the forest, they heard a sound, a rhythmic crunching, accompanied by faint voices. The students froze, their forms stiffening in alarm. "Humans," the instructor said in a hushed tone. "Remain still. Observe, but do not interfere." Through the trees, a group of humans emerged carrying tools and equipment. They appeared to be researchers, dressed in rugged clothing and speaking in a language the students had studied. One of the students, its gaseous form shimmering with nervous energy, whispered, "They look so small. Fragile." The instructor's gaze hardened. "Appearances can be deceiving. Remember, these beings have survived this death world for millennia. Watch closely." The humans stopped near a stream, setting up their equipment. They appeared to be studying the water, collecting samples and taking notes. Their movements were deliberate and efficient, yet their conversations were filled with laughter and camaraderie. The crystalline student tilted its head. "They don't seem dangerous." The instructor's voice was stern. "These are scientists, driven by curiosity and knowledge. But do not forget, this same species has created weapons capable of destroying entire cities. Their potential for creation and destruction exists in equal measure." Suddenly, one of the humans froze, their gaze sweeping the forest. The group tensed as the human called out to their companions. "What is it?" another human asked, stepping closer. "I thought I saw something," the first human replied, their voice tinged with uncertainty. "Something moving?" The students remained perfectly still, their cloaking systems blending them into the environment. After a tense moment, the humans shrugged and returned to their work. The instructor exhaled softly. "That was close. We must be more cautious." Understanding humanity. Over the following days, the students continued their observations. They witnessed humans tending to their environment, engaging in moments of kindness and demonstrating ingenuity. But they also saw conflict, arguments, waste, and signs of environmental degradation. The contrast was stark and unsettling. "They are so contradictory," one student remarked. "How can a species capable of such compassion also cause so much harm to their own world?" The instructor's expression was unreadable. That is the paradox of humanity. Their emotions drive them for better or worse. It is what makes them extraordinary, but also unpredictable. A fateful choice. One evening, as the group prepared to return to their ship, they encountered a lone human child, separated from their group and visibly distressed. The child had tripped, their knees scraped and bleeding, tears streaming down their face. The students hesitated, unsure of what to do. "We cannot reveal ourselves," the instructor warned. "But they're hurt," the crystalline being protested. "We can't just leave them like this." The instructor sighed, conflicted. A single act of kindness could change everything, for better or worse. Before the instructor could stop them, the crystalline being stepped forward, their shimmering form bending low to offer aid. They produced a small, advanced device and used it to heal the child's wound. The child stared in wide-eyed wonder, their fear giving way to curiosity. The crystalline being whispered softly in the human's language, "Be brave." Then, as quickly as they appeared, the group retreated, disappearing into the shadows. The beginning of something greater. Back aboard the ship, the instructor addressed the students. "What you have done today will ripple through time. That child may one day remember this moment, and it could shape humanity's perception of the stars." The crystalline being bowed their head. I acted on instinct. Was I wrong? The instructor's voice softened. Perhaps not. For all their contradictions, humans value kindness. If we are to prepare for their emergence into the galaxy, perhaps kindness is where we should begin. As the ship ascended, leaving Earth behind, the students gazed at the planet, now a small, glowing orb in the vastness of space. They had come to study, to learn, and to understand. What they left with was the seed of something far greater, a connection that, one day, might bridge the gap between Earth and the stars. The crystalline students' simple act of kindness would echo far beyond the moment. The human child, though young, would hold onto the memory of the shimmering figure and the miraculous healing. It would become a story told and retold to family and friends, eventually evolving into something of a legend. As years passed, the child's fleeting encounter with the unknown grew to symbolize hope and the possibility of benevolent life beyond Earth. It sparked quiet whispers of belief among scientists and dreamers that humanity might not be alone, and that when contact came, it might not be with hostility, but with understanding. Back at the Galactic Institute, the students returned to the Institute, bearing their findings. Their observations and samples were meticulously documented and analyzed, contributing to an ever-growing archive about Earth and its inhabitants. In a formal debriefing, the crystalline students stood before a council of instructors and scholars, recounting their experience. When they reached the part about helping the human child, the council stirred with unease. "You broke protocol," one elder instructor said, its voice a low, vibrating hum. "Direct interaction with a pre-contact species risks contamination of their development." The crystalline students' glow dimmed slightly, but they replied firmly, "I understand the risk, but I believe the reward is greater." That moment of kindness planted a seed, a foundation for trust, should humanity one day encounter us. "Isn't that the purpose of our mission?" the council murmured among themselves. Finally, the lead instructor spoke. "What is done cannot be undone. We will monitor the situation closely. Let this be a lesson to all. Contact with a species as volatile and powerful as humanity must be approached with the utmost caution." Years later on Earth, the human child grew into an adult, carrying the memory of that strange encounter. They became a prominent figure in the scientific community, dedicating their life to the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Their passion inspired a new wave of exploration and innovation. Humanity's listening stations became more advanced, their signals reaching deeper into the galaxy. Earth began launching missions beyond its solar system, fueled by the belief that someone or something was out there. The first reply. Decades after the initial encounter, a signal reached Earth. It was subtle at first, almost unrecognizable amid the cosmic noise, but its structured patterns were unmistakable. It was a message from the Galactic Institute, a carefully crafted greeting encoded with universal mathematical principles. The world erupted in excitement and debate. Was this truly a message from another civilization? What did it mean? How should humanity respond? Amid the chaos, the former child, now a renowned scientist, stepped forward, urging caution and humility. "If they have reached out to us," they said, "it means they see us as capable of understanding. Let us meet them not with fear, but with the same kindness that once reached me." A meeting of minds. The Galactic Institute's emissaries, led by the crystalline student, now an esteemed scholar, prepared for their second visit to Earth. This time, it would not be in secrecy, but in diplomacy. Humanity, prepared and hopeful, awaited their arrival with a mixture of wonder and trepidation. The meeting took place in orbit above Earth, aboard a neutral station constructed for the occasion. The humans were represented by a coalition of scientists, leaders, and visionaries. The aliens brought their knowledge, wisdom, and the same cautious optimism. The crystalline scholars stepped forward, their form shimmering as it had all those years ago. "Greetings, humanity," they said in the humans' own language. "We have observed your resilience, your curiosity, and your capacity for both creation and destruction. Today, we come not as conquerors or saviors, but as allies, seeking to share in the wonder of the cosmos with you. The room fell silent, the weight of the moment sinking in. Then the human representative stepped forward, their voice steady. "And we welcome you, not with fear or suspicion, but with open minds and hopeful hearts. Let this day mark the beginning of a new chapter, not just for humanity, but for the galaxy. The dawn of a new era." The alliance between Earth and the Galactic Institute grew slowly but steadily, rooted in mutual respect and a shared thirst for knowledge. Humanity, shaped by its struggles on its death world, brought a unique perspective to the galactic stage. And as the stars opened up to them, humans and aliens alike learned that the greatest strength lay not in their differences, but in their shared desire to explore, to understand, and to connect. The galaxy had once feared humanity's arrival, but now it embraced the Deathworlders as a testament to the indomitable spirit of life itself.